What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to talk about post-combine, the QBs, what we saw, what we liked. If we have a chance as Lions fans to actually see a QB come off the board and win, where it makes sense. So we'll break down the top names and see if we're going to take a QB. Craig, where are you at just in general with QB? Is it something on your radar? Do you build around Goff? I know it's a loaded question, but where are you at with a QB and taking a QB in this next in the draft?
I think there's a couple of guys. If they're still available at that 32 spot, especially because you have the 34th pick right behind it. I think you have to consider it. I really do. I'm not all in on the QB train, but I'm also not draft a QB to draft a QB. I think that there's a couple of guys that have an athletic profile that could be game changers if the rest comes along. And so I'm happy with it at 32, depending on the name. We can talk a little bit more about what those names are, but if they're available at 32, great. If they're not, I say, nope, just draft best talent available.
That's right. And what a weird year. And I pulled up an article here from Pride of Detroit. If you've been following us the last few weeks, they've been doing such a great job on these post-combine results, really highlighting the main guys that we want to look at. And so we'll kind of go through the list here. Malik Willis is the guy that's really high ceiling guy that everybody's kind of keeping their eye on. And it's just such a weird QB class because there is no standout, but QB is such in high demand that you need a QB. So you're like, I'm gonna take a QB early. If I
see all the desperate teams that need a QB right now. I mean,
so Malik Willis, what are your thoughts on him? I mean, your thoughts on him, Malik Willis.
Sure. He's one of the two guys that if he's still available, I think you got to take a chance on. I mean, he has an elite athletic profile. I know he didn't run the 40, but it would have been fast. We can see it on film. We saw it at, the Senior Bowl, and he has elite speed at the quarterback position. The question is his accuracy. So I think my feel on him is similar to what most people's is the upside could be ridiculous. But I also worry about what is that going to look like when he's throwing? Can he get more consistent? And that's where having a guy like Goff isn't bad. You draft someone at 32, you let him sit for a year, you develop that, and then you make the decision from that point on. Do you either have, hey, we have a capable backup, and we have to continue with Goff, or do we go forward with this athletic quarterback and really change our offense to match his game?
Yeah, and that's what you saw the Niners do with Trey Lance, where they took him. We saw it in the first game. I don't think he really did it much, but they did a lot of goal line, red zone stuff with him, and Garoppolo would come back in. But yeah, we could do something like that. But man, the problem is we have so many holes that just seem so glaring that you take a QB over a linebacker or a safety. And it's like,
especially we're going to know more in a few days, but especially if we're quiet on the free agent front. Right. I mean, I think that depends too. Like if we go out and we get Marcus Williams and we get a linebacker, all of a sudden I start thinking to myself, like, okay, QB at 32 sounds a little bit better.
That's right.
Because we don't have so many glaring needs to fill.
That's right. And that's a great point. And we'll get an idea. I really think we'll of course get a great idea in free agency if we're like, we're kind of loading up and filling holes, not with the elite talent, of course, but we're just kind of filling some linebackers. It's like maybe we're setting ourselves up, because another guy is Desmond Ridder. I know in one of our first mock drafts, you were on him early
when I called him Cam Ridder.
Oh
man, I still randomly get comments of people are like, who's Cam Ridder? I'm like, I don't know. I messed up.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Desmond I do have a comp for this guy though.
Yeah, go ahead with that.
I think his ceiling is Ryan Tannehill. I really do. I don't think that's his floor, but I think that's his ceiling. Pretty good straight line speed, not overly quick, not shockingly agile. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, if I'm not mistaken, was a wide receiver at Texas A&M. I think before he was a quarterback. Yeah. And he has good straight line speed too. And the way they throw the ball, it's not ridiculous arm strength or anything like that. But I think that is kind of the comp that you could see if Desmond Ridder continues to progress, he could become a guy like Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. And I like that because Desmond Ridder is bigger than I thought, just like Tannehill.
Yeah. He's a big dude.
They're fast. I mean, they're athletic, but they're like, man,
Yeah.
this dude's big. I thought Malik Willis was more 6'2", 6'3", but he's 6'1". But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
again, like you said, it's just like, boy, what a tough call. And that's where Brad Holmes, it's like, boy, here we go, man. Because it's really comes down to, are they like, hey, Goff, let's build around Goff, or they're either saying, hey, we
Yeah.
no, like
I just, I don't,
we're
I
tapped
don't
out with him.
I think Ritter is destined to be a very good backup in this league.
Yep.
That's just what I feel like he's going to be. He does not have an elite arm. He doesn't have elite athletic traits. He has good athletic traits, but nothing's elite. And I just don't think he's going to end up being like the guy.
That's right.
There is someone who I do think has a possibility to be the guy, and he just so happens not to be in this article, and he just so happens not to have been in the combine because of injury, and that's Matt Corral. What do you think about Matt Corral out of Ole Miss? Like, I'm not sitting here saying he is the next Russell Wilson, but when I watch him, I see little flashes of Russ with the accuracy, with the, with the quickness. He's not super tall. Like, there's a lot of things that remind me of it. And I just wonder what Russell Wilson would have looked like in a spread offense in college. And I think it's similar. I think Russell Wilson was more accurate. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks I've ever seen in college, but I see a little bit of that shake, that wiggle. Like, I think he could be good. What do you think about Matt Corral?
Yeah, Matt Corral. So I love his elusiveness, his ability to just kind of stay on his feet a little bit and create. But boy, he has that. I could definitely see it going wrong. Makeup as well. Okay. The Baker Mayfield. I'm kind of littler.
Better athlete than Baker. Come on.
Yeah, I'm I'm littler, but I can still throw it. And it's like, man, that could work. Like you said, man, Russell Wilson is the one example. The other one, yeah, Baker or somebody where it's just like Johnny Manziel. No, that's rough. But
get out of here with that.
Yeah,
just short Cleveland Brown failures. Like, what are we doing here?
Short, you work quick in college, you got to weigh a little bit, but now in the pros, it's just like injury city because they're catching you, and it's like, so
what I liked about Corral, when you watch the tape on him, it's not so much straight line speed that he's using to get away. It's the shake, it's the wiggle, it's the spin. It's kind of like, you know how Patrick Mahomes just makes people miss in the pocket? I'm not comparing Matt Corral to Patrick Mahomes. I'm just saying his ability to avoid getting sacked. And he has more foot speed than Mahomes, but not near the arm, talent.
And that's
but I do think it would be nice to have someone like, if you could combine our offensive line plus someone that can create extra time, I'm just saying, like, that would be really, really good. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, I get that, and he's somebody that I wouldn't hate, but I'm more, if I had to pick a side, I'm more in the let's get talent.
Malik Willis.
Well, I know I'm more let's get talent and let's not get a quarterback unless you do have something like Malik or somebody else that is still there, but they won't.
So Malik's there at 32. Are you drafting him?
I think you do. Yep.
Okay.
I would.
If Matt Corral's there at 32, you pass.
Who's there?
If Corral is there at 32, you're passing.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Okay.
Now
you heard it here, folks. He is passing on Matt Corral at 32. So when we draft him at 32, he's going to be excited about this pick. He's going to have he's going to be drinking the Honolulu Blue Kool-Aid. I promise. What else we got, Chris? We talking about anybody else?
Let's look at, did you want to look at Pickett or Howell? Which one of those two kind of gets you?
Well, I think with Kenny Pickett, like, he has nobody. I don't think there's been a Pro Bowl quarterback under 9 inches in hand size. And I know that sounds stupid, but he has really tiny hands. He even came out and said that he was doing hand exercises to make his hands bigger.
Well,
that sounds like a performance issue. But
yeah, I just don't like the 5th-year senior guy that I just heard of a month ago. Like, it kind of concerns me a little bit. Like, this guy should be, you just know right away, like, yep, his freshman year, like, look out, this guy. And again, that's there's a lot of reasons for that. And there was COVID in there too, but Pickett, I don't love him. Sam Howell is another one. It's interesting. Yes. These quarterbacks are just like, I don't love you. And that could be good for us. That could be, one of these guys could be laying around the 3rd round. Maybe 4th round where we just grab one. I heard somebody say a former GM. Anyway, he's just said, take a quarterback, get a quarterback every year. You adding. That's how the Seahawks found
Okay.
Russell Wilson. They took this guy that couldn't play at
Oh, the
NC
Seahawks.
State.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Seahawks are like, you know what, we'll draft you. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's how you do it. You're constantly. So I do think we add a guy, but just when and where. Anybody or Sam Howell for you, is that somebody that you'd entertain?
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting because everything in me wants to be like, if you're not getting a quarterback early on, he's not going to be successful. But then Russell Wilson, I think, was 4th round for the Seahawks. I think Dak Prescott was 4th round for the Cowboys.
Yep.
Nobody saw him being what he is.
And if you could
That's
hit that,
harder and
that's
harder
your.
to do.
If you hit that, that is your franchise changing moment. I mean,
That's
you
it.
change it. Yeah. So
That's it. By the way, Sam Howell, that to me is Baker Mayfield. I just want to make that clear. That is the Baker comp. I mean, short, not that fast. You know, I think the difference between Corral and Mayfield is Corral actually is pretty quick. I think he'd be around that 4.55, you know, in the 40. But I'm telling you right now, Sam Howell has better arm talent than like Desmond Ridder or something like that. So he does. It's just for him, it was the 1 year and it was his sophomore year. Then last year, he wasn't very good. So it's like, if you can't be good in the ACC, it just makes me nervous. But when I watch him throw the ball, like he does throw the ball well. He does, but he's short. He relies on his legs too much and he's not fast. He would have to relearn a lot of things. A lot.
I mean, again, it goes back to a year in which the Lions have a quarterback that's average. You can win with him, but you know, he's not, you know, whatever. And he's on the last year of his contract. We're picking number 2. Stars are aligning. We're going to get that next franchise quarterback, and there isn't one in the draft. And that's just kind of what we come back to. So then
we'll be too good to be in the top 1 or 2 picks next year. That's just the way it's going to work.
It's going to be. So, hey, there's a couple quarterbacks.
Purgatory.
I'm excited to see what we do. I mean, I can't wait to see because it's going to tell us so much about what we believe in, you know, Goff and just see what the direction of the franchise. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've been sticking around this long, consider subscribing. And it just means that you're going to get notifications when we put out new videos, and we're going to put out new videos all throughout the season. So hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you.